is Shannon.
This is Herman.
This is Matt Fax.
And we're here with Neon Owl at Dreamstate. So how is Dreamstate treating you, Matt? You just got finished with your set. How do you feel about everything?
It feels great. The place is amazing. I just finished my set. It was an incredible time. The people seem to have enjoyed my set, so I'm pretty happy.
The energy was amazing.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the venue this year?
It's different. It's looking pretty cool. I like the fact that you can see actually the Queen Mary on the side. But it's different. I like both. The San Bernardino place and this one. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Are you going to be here for a while, or you have to move on to the next thing? What's up next for you?
I'm going to stay for a couple of more hours. Chat with artists, and then flying back tomorrow to France, and continue my normal life. I guess. So yeah, that's the plan.
Okay. I'm curious. You kind of got started under two different aliases before. So how did you arrive at Matt Fax? How did we come here?
Basically, at the time when I was doing music, I liked to change alias every time I was, shifting to a new musical direction. And Matt Fax was when I try, to move into the more progressive house side. So that's how I started with it. And basically, the name just came out of nowhere of listening 2 tracks on shuffle on iTunes back then because Spotify didn't exist. but yeah, it was like a placeholder, and I started releasing music under that alias, and it stayed. And here I am.
I love it. It's clean, simple. Works great. Easy to remember. I love it. So mental health is really important here to us at Neon Owl. And your story of the fall was inspired by a mental health struggle you went through, kind of some dark times. I want to briefly touch on that because, you took that as inspiration and used it for your sound. And now you're kind of a driving force and leader in the progressive, dark sound that I personally is my favorite genre under the trance umbrella right now. So do you want to talk a little bit about that, like how you used music as your therapy to come up with that and take your sound in a different direction?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, ever since I started to listen to music, I used music to express myself, whether I was listening or creating. So it always felt like I feel sometimes words ain't enough, to people to understand how you really feel. And I feel like with music, people can relate more, about your story because it's just the way it is. And
like
with
universal language.
Yeah, definitely. And with Story of the Fall, I really wanted, to tell my story about the past 3 years of my life where I was falling into a hole that I'm slowly, going out of it. It keeps getting better, and it's just that at some point in our life, I guess that we all go through a dark place, and the best the best thing is when you go out of that place, basically. But you have to go through so many things, and sometimes it's hard, and you kind of lose your identity. And I have a different vision of the album right now because I'm in a better place right now. And it's just also to say that no matter what happens in your life, at the end of the day, there's always a sun shining behind the dark clouds. So yeah, it's just important, to use something. For me, it was the music, but for some people, it's a book, it's like movies or whatever, to express yourself and to actually, express your feelings. I guess it's really important.
It's beautiful. And what came out of it was really great music.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So, going on and expanding, other things that Neon Owl does is big heavy focus on artist production and development. So as an up and coming aspiring producer, I'm going to pass it to Herman and let him do a couple of more technical producer questions for you.
All right.
Yeah, I feel I love making music too, and it's like you said, a universal language. And yeah, I mean, you started young, and you started getting recognized very young, and at what moment do you remember as a child realized you started picking up instruments or listen to radio?
I think it's because music was in my family, for none of my family members are musicians, but we all listen to music. Okay. And so music had a predominant place family. So I guess that's why I ended up like making music and loving music, because it's not only about creating music but being interested into the music industry, to artists, into like labels or whatever. I'm a huge nerd for that. And basically that's how I started. I started listening to whatever music got offered to me, and yeah, that's how I got there.
Cool. Did you pick up instruments as well, or
No, not really. Last year I tried to play the piano for like a couple of months and stopped because life, basically. I didn't have time, but like this is the only instrument I ever picked. And
Nice.
I just learned how to know which note goes with which
Yes,
to make it
yeah.
sound good. But yeah, otherwise I have no knowledge and I don't know how to play an instrument. But
Cool. I
yeah.
mean, you make some masterpieces that's just
No
like
one
that,
would
though.
know.
Yeah, but it's
That's cool.
actually easy, nowadays
Yeah.
with nowadays tools. But
Mhm.
but yeah.
Cool. And so you started going directly into DOS, or when you're creating music?
I guess first when I really first started, I didn't understood that we really needed a DAW to make music, so I just downloaded like programs like
Recent.
Magic Music Maker or
Okay,
EJ or even Virtual DJ, because I
Virtual
was like
DJ, yeah.
doing mashups, was actually producing, but it was not.
Mhm.
And then I had people like saying, no, you need to have this program, and I think I started with FL Studio at the time, and
Oh,
then
okay.
quickly moved to Ableton, where it's been like a program that I love, for like a very long time. So yeah, I feel comfortable with that. I try like literally every DAW possible, but yeah, I feel comfortable with Ableton.
You're sticking with Ableton.
Yeah.
Ableton gang. Yeah. I love Ableton too. That's what I use right now. But yeah, so and you started learning about what media is and all that, and so did you have struggles like grasping the knowledge, or were you just trial and error practicing until you got things into perfection?
I guess it was more try and error, because at the time when I started, I didn't want to make a career out of it. Basically, I was just like,
Okay, yeah.
people of my age were playing video games, and I was playing Ableton, basically, and I was like, oh, if I put a compressor and do this, what does it does? Like, basically,
Yes,
and I said, okay, yeah, this, that, and then that's how I learned. Like, basically later on I started to be more serious and try to learn like the music, like theory, the mixing, and mastering. But like when I first started, it was like total improvisation and trying everything until it sounded good to me. And in fact I thought it sounded good, but something didn't. But yeah.
That's cool. So so you started taking it more serious. Was there a moment where you made like a complete song and you thought it was already good, and then you got the feedback, and they give you the constructive feedback, and you got to work on this. Do you remember any of that? Or
Yeah, I guess like since pretty early on my career, it's been like that. Like some labels are really dedicated with giving you constructive feedbacks, and some other just don't. They just don't care. But it's sometimes it's yeah, or they don't reply. But sometimes it's just hard for the ego, because you work on the track for so long and you're proud of it, and the label manager goes back to you and you need to change this and this and this. In fact, I have a track that I'm working right now that I like, and like I just got a message like, yeah, you need to change like approximately like 80% of the track, and I'm like, well, no. Yeah, let's just put it on the side. It hurts the ego, but yeah, that's how you grow as
So
an
would
artist.
you say some advice to aspiring producers would be to not get emotionally attached to your tracks? Like, does that help, or is it hard to do? Do you find that you get emotionally attached to the things that you're making, so it's hard to change things?
I guess you will always be emotionally attached, because if you really love what you do, and if you do it like for fun, you're just going to be proud of what you do, and at some point people are going to either try to put you down, or just to say that your track is not good or whatever, just to try to make you evolve. And I think you just need to see the positive side of it. It's just that like not every track that you would do it will be perfect at the first like export or whatever. You need to learn to put your ego on the side and just say, okay, these people depending on how constructive the feedback is. But basically, like, if people are saying, yeah, you need to change this, take it as an advice and don't take yourself too seriously. That's the only thing.
That's good advice. So if you were going to look to collaborate with an artist, or if an artist was looking to get a track signed to the label, what would you be looking for in the sound or the energy, or what would you be looking for to collaborate with someone?
I guess I'm looking after the originality, because right now, and especially in the progressive trance scene, it's pretty much sounding the same, and I'm really looking into producers who can bring something new to the table, because I think like not everything like has been tested yet, and like I tried on my album, try to merge, progressive with, darker sounds or whatever, or it can be like, orchestral sounds or whatever, like, just something different that makes you stand out, from the others. I'm thinking tired of hearing like, the same melodic techno sounding tracks with super sauce and big kicks, like for real, like, it's not 2020, like 4 years later, like, come on. But I mean, like,
tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, I mean,
tell us how you really feel.
Yeah. So yeah.
So do you have any dream collabs with artists, if you could choose anyone in the world to collab with?
Yeah, there's a couple. I guess I would like to do a track with Len 8. I'm going to meet him in a few and ask him.
Awesome.
Oh well. We'll see how it goes. Then one of my dream collab will be Tom York from Radiohead as a vocalist.
I love that.
Yeah. He's amazing. He's amazing. And yeah, a bunch of others. And probably I would love not to collaborate, but remix more trance classics, or have take this sounds into a new direction,
right?
Just to pay homage. But yeah, that's it.
I'd love it if you did that. That would be amazing. So you mentioned that you didn't see yourself, making this a career necessarily when you first started, but here you are, very successful. Where do you see yourself going? Like, what are you hoping for in the future, or in the near future even?
I guess just continue to do it until the fires die, basically. It's just I just do it for fun, and even if I feel like I'm doing pretty good, I just try to take a step back and say, okay, this is still something I need to do for fun, and need to have this artistic creation going, and not say, okay, I need to make a career out of it. And for the future I would like just to keep going as long as possible. That's the only thing.
Amazing. So we'll close out, because I know we've gotta move along here, but I will close out with some funny questions, some just silly, not anything to do with music questions.
Sure.
All right. So if you could be an animal, what animal would you be?
A rabbit, because I love rabbits.
Yeah.
Reason enough. Okay, I love that. Okay. You're not from America, so do you have any favorite places that you have to eat when you're here? Like whether it's fast food or a restaurant, or any particular food that you can't get back home that you like to have when you're here?
I had a typical thing that I was doing when I was touring in America, is that I was trying every burger from McDonald's that we don't have in Europe. And one thing I need to try is
do that when they travel to McDonald's, or they try the ones that they can't get here.
Yeah, I guess. And one thing I need to try is the In-N-Out burger.
Okay.
I don't know if I don't know how good it is, but
you gotta get it animal style.
Yeah.
Animal style, or you're not gonna get the full experience. So I'll tell you that right now.
Okay.
Make sure you order animal style. All right. And what's your favorite color?
Red.
Okay, nice. I love it. All right. So we'll bring it back to this very moment. What are you most thankful for in this very moment?
To be alive, I guess.
I love that. Very simple, but honest. I love that. Do you have any last words for anybody that may be watching, fans, aspiring artists, anyone?
Thanks for listening to me, and follow me on my socials if you haven't already. Madfax Music everywhere.
Please.
And yeah, keep the progressive alive.
Love it. I love it. Definitely keep the progressive alive. Thank you so much for meeting with us today.
Thank you.